Good morning, everyone. So excited as always to join you from week to week as we work hard, suit up, go hard, and unleash the superhero within for victory. And every Tuesday at 11:30 Central Standard, 12:30 on the East Coast, and then yes, we go 2 hours behind, 9:30 on the Pacific Coast. We join right here for Suit Up, where we talk about life, we talk about career and business prosperity, we talk about everything to not only have the life we desire in our dreams, but to live it now and to be able to walk in it today. So, good morning again. I am TA Tracy Casey-Arnold, superhero, reporting in today, your Interpreneur coach, as we dive into our next topic this week, which is called ROI, which is return on investment. And this is where I want to take this episode to just share with you a little bit about my story in how I went from $7.25 per hour. Yes, that shows my age, working over 45 to 55 plus hours a week to making the decision to just quit, go cold turkey, and as I said on my post, do me and stand on me and launch my own business. And within 12 months, I was sitting at six figures. And within my first 3 years, I made my first $1 million. This is where, man, when I tell you my story, I want to share it not to brag. I want to share it so that you know, man, if that chick can do it, I can do it. Anybody can do it. Exactly, you guys. And so I want to make sure we kind of make sure our slides work as always, because I like those. Those are guides for me. And so let's talk about what return on investment means. That means when you give to something, you invest in something, you work hard and stay focused, you sacrifice for something, and you put it all into whether it's one thing or multiple things, but you do it consistently over and over. You've got an eye of tiger. If y'all know Rocky, y'all know what that means. Or you are laser centered focused to where there's nothing else that can come in your peripheral view. There's nothing that can come and distract you, because whatever you decided on Tuesday, no matter what. Well, let me kind of start off, and I'm going to kind of put my first slide up here as we talk about my story. You know, my story is one that was of desperation. And let's make sure we have this unlocked so that I can do this here, you guys. And it is. Okay. My story as to why I started my business was one of desperation. It was not one, and I know what I'm doing wrong. There we go. Get over here. I had my preview up and it's like, man, I can't go attach a slide to a preview, TA. I was in mega destitution. As I kind of said on one of the episodes, I was a single mom, had a baby, got pregnant at the age of 19, had her at 20. The dad was around for a while. We were not really dating. It was, yes, a one night stand. I'll kind of admit that. But unfortunately, the story was not a fairy tale story. It didn't end where we partnered together still to raise my daughter up. It didn't, happen to where I had that beautiful, blissful 9 months of pregnancy. I even had difficulty where I had to stop working in my last trimester because I kept having complications. And it definitely was not the story where no matter what, he was there, did his part, and there was child support. My child support was my mama and my daddy. They were the ones who really stood next to me. They were the ones who girded me up. They were the ones who strengthened me up. And I'm just going to give a shout out to my mom, God rest her soul. And she was the one that whatever I needed in order to do me, starting from inside out, not outside in, she was going to be that person that was going to stand in the gap. She was going to carry it. She was going to do it. She was going to lead it. She was going to be there for me no matter what anybody said, including my own family. She was going to be there for me. And let me tell you, the journey was hard. It was hard because there was a true need now. I couldn't just go continue life the way I was living it. I couldn't just go be a child and a teenager or a young adult, just going and doing things no matter what. I had to make a decision. And I had to not only make a decision, I had to make one that was a unselfish decision. Now, to a lot of people around, they thought, man, I was just doing a whole bunch of other things because back in the day, when you had a child, your whole life ended and it was just about that baby. Your life is over. It no longer matters what you want to do. It's all about that baby. And back in that day, there was still this pretense that when you were a woman, your role was just to be a mom at that point. It was to sacrifice everything, including your dreams and yourself, in order to be that mom and to be about that baby. Well, the problem that I had was this is that if I was going to do that, then how could I provide a life for her? How could I be in a place where I could give her something, give her a future, or even here's the big one, be an example to her that no matter what circumstance you're in, no matter what situation you're in, that if you choose to make a decision and you don't quit, you can overcome that. Single moms were a statistic back in the day. They were destined for one thing only: problems, issue, baby, daddy drama, all of that. And they were labeled as someone who could only fit in this box, and I'm going to say it, who could only be dependent and couldn't do it on their own. Now, don't get me wrong, the fight was real, the battle was real, the adversity was real, because not only did I have this child, that now there really wasn't a dad around. Man, here comes another layer. It was an interracial child. Oh, come on, I said it. So here I am dealing with adversity, dealing with, yes, I'll say it, racism, dealing with all of this issue and knowing that that's not what I want for my child. I don't want this to be her story. I don't want this to be her environment. I don't want this to be the thing that she looks at as being the example. I knew that I had to go hard to change that peripheral view, that frontline view, and everything she'd be standing on that would possibly be facing her to tell her something different. The challenge and the adversity, not just financially, was real. That what I did, even though I couldn't really love myself, because those of you who know my story, I was stricken with alopecia at the age of 5. I was different. They didn't make hair like this back then. And I only have a limited choices. And the majority of those, 98% of those, were for adults. And I've got a small head. So we're talking everything was against me. You know, being a woman, being a minority, everything was against me. But I knew when I gave birth to Brianna, even though I had a lot of issues emotionally, limiting thoughts, I had a lot of challenge with depression and oppression. I had a lot of things going on in my life. The one thing that I knew, especially after those first 2 to 3 months, I didn't have anything other than myself that I could give her. And I'm going to say it, and somebody's not going to like it, but this is where you can unsubscribe. But I'm here to tell the truth, is what my role and job is. I knew that even though I could love her, all I could give her, which wasn't much because I didn't even love myself, to give her a life, though, I had to create a future. Let me say that again because somebody needs to hear it. To give her a life, no, I had to create a future. And here's the second thing, and I just said it, I had to create it. I didn't need to get it from somebody else. Nobody else owed it to me. It was something that if it's going to be, it was up to me. And the very first thing I knew is I wasn't enough. Come on. I can love her, but to give her a future required so many other things. I said in my last episode, it required finances. It required not just money once, it required a financial stable life so that things could be planned and things could be done and things could be created, even created for the future, not just for the day. And so that is where my why as to why I started my business was about my need. And I say that because I want many people to exhale. The majority of people who start a business is because of a need. And those that have a grave need, I'm going to say it, are the ones that will beast over, slave over, cry over, get down and come back up because they know that need is not going anywhere. It's not going to disappear. And those that are living in reality know no one else is going to take care of it. I got to deal with it. So my whole life, my whole daughter, my whole day after day in the future, I knew that not only was that the reason why I needed to start a business, here's that thing I'm going to say. I knew I needed to start one right then because I had a lot that I had to do. And everything I heard about business, it takes time to truly build a business, but you can make money overnight. I'm going to say that again. It takes time to build a business, one that's going to be there 32 years later. But to make money, no, you can always make money here and there. You can always have, which is why now you know why I say we're not going to build a side hustle here. We may be hustling on the side to build a business, but we're not going to build a side hustle. We're building a life here. We're building a future here. We're building one that can provide no matter what the situation is, one that can provide in troubled times, and one that can even provide when maybe you're gone. It keeps on getting hit, taking a licking, but it keeps on ticking. And those of you who are my age know that commercial. That's what we're building here. The next thing I knew that now that I made this decision, oh, and I need a lot of people to hear me. You cannot build anything if you don't build yourself first. You will go and work your butt off and literally feel like you getting up, getting down, achieving, losing it, going hard, having a hole at the bottom. And then you'll look around and one day you'll realize after all this effort, after all this hard work and sacrifice, maybe even time and money, sweat and tears, that you're the reason why it keeps going up and going down. It has a hole at the bottom because you are the foundation to your business. You are. You are the thing that's going to be the underwriter of your business. So, how stable you are, how sound you are, guess what? That is what you're going to be building on. If you're like quicksand, always having issues, emotional, breakdowns, or your mind's all over the place, then even if you're going hard and doing all the steps, what are you building on? Something that is going to constantly sink. And then now you're going to have chaos. And then you're going to get exhausted more than what it requires to build a business. And then you're going to tell yourself you can't do it. Only those people can do it. When really the key, the only thing that was needed was to invest. Talk about that return of investment in you. That when it comes to what you do, the very first investment you must make is in yourself. And the very first investment, we'll go out and try to learn business and finance and how to go create this and do that and how that works. And we forget the thing that everything's going to sit in. It's like a house. How can you have a house if it doesn't have the foundation laid and poured first? You can't build walls. You can't build a roof that's going to stay. And man, talk about even if you got it done, the moment we know the story that it huffs and puffs life, it's going to all fall down. This right here, personal development, is the thing that has to be addressed. And a lot of people want to go do the work over a weekend at a conference or want to go and just watch certain videos and think they're good. No, true personal development is the biggest word of all, is development. That means it's got to develop. That means it's got to grow to become. That means you got to take time and invest. It is ongoing. It's development. Development is a process. It is ongoing. It is not something that you can do once, just do a little bit a day. It is something that you've got to make a conscious decision. And now it's like you're signing up, like you're going to school. You see how the kids are. We got to get them up at school and get their backpack, and they go like literally 8 hours a day. Now, when I broke down my granddaughter's boogie schedule, I thought, man, what all do y'all do during the day? There's a lot of recess in there, a lot of playtime and read books. But man, they do some concentrated time in there for even 7-year-olds where it's focused and they're going hard. Why? Because they are developing them personally, and it's not something that can be done in preschool and we check it off. Kindergarten, we check it off. Man, to truly develop as a young person, it takes 12 to 13 to 14 years. And oh, and by the way, we're not done. There it's college or a university or all these trade schools or even other things that you need to learn and grow in. It is a constant. Personal development never ends. Personal development, guess what? Never stops. Why? Because things change all the time. What you knew back then is not what's going to work today. Your knowledge that you have is only a limited knowledge because things evolve and change all the time. Personal development from your limiting beliefs to your perspective, maybe even things you were taught from your growing up that needs to be hacked off, burned off, and just needs to die. Or things that maybe when you wake up in the morning, what you truly believe about yourself. Maybe you're the villain in your superhero movie. All of those things, from even action steps, things to do when, if those things happen, and how to even stay focused, because the focus comes from you. It's not something you grab out of here. Personal development is the number one thing that I knew that I needed. Not only did I need it because I needed to grow me, but personal development, when you grow yourself, you grow your worth. You grow your assets. You grow, here it is, your value as to what you could offer even to a business, to a life, to a job, to even get promotions. It is personal development because it's you. We always want to blame other people, but bottom line, it's us. The more we invest in us, the more of a return on investment or in investment we are going to have. Okay, so that's number two. I needed to become an encyclopedia. I needed to become a professor of life. I needed to become something that would truly allow myself to have, here's the key word, wisdom. That means something that when it came to a situation, when it came to a person, I would have the ability to add and not deplete. I would have the ability to bring information and speak to it to now bring other knowledge to somebody. I had to become a plethora of information, not just personal development, but this was truly where that I had to get to a place where I knew things. I couldn't just come from high school and just go off of a diploma or a GED. I had to grow myself. I have a dear friend of mine, that here he is in his, late 40s, and he's like, man, I got to go back to school. I got to get my master's degree. Here I've got my CEO going back for his second because things change all the time, but it's when you are educated, when you've got proven stats, when you show you've got knowledge that you can, guess what, share it with other people. You can give it with other people. And we go back to the first thing is now you're building value in yourself. Now what you're doing is you're becoming something that can offer something to things. Now you're becoming something that you can add and elevate things. You can grow things. You can start things. You can build things. You now can become parts of equations. Now you can become part of a issue and a problem by you educating yourself. And people think that you just educate yourself on the thing that you're interested in. No, educate yourself on life, on all of the main areas of life, from life and life building and what does it take, from even personal development and having words that because you're putting in you and pouring into you, you can pour into others, from business and finances, being somebody educated who watches the market, who studies the trend, who sees what's happening in the world. I'm not going to say get into politics, but there's things that happen within our city and how it's governed that we need to be aware of. Don't just be a backseat person, be aware of what's going on, because here's that thing that you'll start to develop is it may be because of the knowledge you've got, you see an opportunity that you can step in order to help that equation in that situation. This is the one, the very next one, you guys, where I made it a point. And oh man, there we go. My Lord, I don't know if it's my hands. I've got oil on it. I'm putting lotion on my hands. But this is where I created an obsessive, consistent, and whatever it takes work ethic. Oh, y'all, let's talk about this. Some of us struggle in this area because we only want to do just enough. We only want to work a certain amount of hours in a day. We want that life of an 8 to 5 or a 9 to 5. We want to be able to check in and clock out. I remember a dear friend of mine when I was starting my company. She was always that one, oh, boo boo, it's 5 o'clock, I'm out. And she would only show up when it was time to clock in. And I just thought, man, so that means that you're a limited person. So how could someone see that you have value when, man, that's what everybody does? It's an 8 to 5, or it's, man, I only want to do this much work and get this much gain. This was the one thing that I knew, that if I was going to create a life this big, that I would have to put effort this big into it. It would have to be bigger times 10 than what I wanted. That's what you do, a return of investment. You go put in more in order to get a return. The more you put in, the more return that you get. And man, I just knew that I had to create an obsessive, consistent, and a whatever it takes, no matter what, I'm not tapping out. Whatever it takes, no matter what, I can't stop. Whatever it takes, no matter what, I've got to keep going. This is truly where I knew that the one thing that was going to allow what I was working for to come closer was how soon I could get there. So I knew if I could work hard, if I could put in more hours, if I could be the first one rising and the last one to sleep, because there's things you're going to have to do that you can't get done 8 to 5. Those that make it, those that build it, they will tell you that they work and they give at least 15 to 18 and sometimes 24 hours to their dreams. Sometimes that to their business, but they understand that what they're giving to is going to give them freedom, it's going to give them finances, it's going to now make hope not just something we hope to have one day we possess, and it's the game changer. Those that rise, those that elevate, those that even get promoted are the ones that you see that go beyond the minimum, that go beyond what's expected. Those are the ones that are trusted. Those are the ones you put in leadership. Those are the ones opportunities go to. And then before you know it, you've built a portfolio that there's no doors that won't open to you, because they know that if they give it to you, you're going to do whatever it takes to make it happen. And then again, let's go back to my why being my need. It taught my daughter how to work hard. It taught my daughter how to go hard. It gave her an example of what you do in order to do. It gave her that we're not lazy, procrastinator, privilege here, waiting for people to do it. If you want it, you got to go get it. And how bad do you want it? If you want it real bad, that's how bad you got to work for it. And that's the people that you see that end up in those pictures and dreams, because they created an obsessive, consistent, and whatever it takes, no matter what, work ethic. That means even if you're in a job and that's your behavior, your supervisors, your managers, and your bosses see that. And those things that shines out big, because everybody else clocking in, clocking out, just doing the minimum. But the ones who get into leadership, the ones who get promoted, the ones who get the big salary are those right there, because that's a work ethic that other people see. And that's a work ethic that affects other people. It has a ripple effect. People are around it. Guess what? Around you, they become elevated to do more themselves, which means now you're a change agent, as John C. Maxwell has. Your mere existence of how you do things is what elevates people and even motivate them to continue to keep striving and keep going. All right, the next one that I did, this one's big, is everybody who was in the places that I wanted to be, I didn't care telling them that I was in need. A lot of us have a lot of pride and we want to act like we don't need it, that we're good, we're okay, I don't really need you, because we're so busy trying to look a certain way. I didn't care. I told everybody that I was in need. I told everybody about my dream. I told everybody what I was working for. I told everybody. The more people I told, do you realize how many people came around me to aid me and help me? Oh my gosh. Now, I still had to invest in them. Again, a lot of us still have this mindset of trying to get things for free. We don't want to invest because we think we're giving somebody else money. When, let me tell you what, you can't go to a vending machine without putting money in to get something out. You can't go through a drive-through without giving money at the end. You can order, but to get the food, you better pay. You can't go to groceries. You can't have utilities. A lot of people think that all these things should be given to them for free. I don't know where that came in at. That's a broke mentality to me. That could be one of the reasons why we need personal development, because that'll keep you nothing but broke. Because when you invest in something zero, you're going to get zero out of it. Just going to say that. And so what I did is I surrounded myself around all of the who's I wanted to be, and I stepped into the position that I wanted to be in at every chance I got, and I learned everything that I could about business and what I wanted to do. Even at the point where I would offer myself for free. Come on. Because what was I getting out of it? Instead of being so focused on, I need you to pay me, I want you to pay me, man, I was getting the biggest thing of all: knowledge, wisdom, experience that I could take with me. So, oh yeah, heck yeah, I'm gonna offer this for free. Because I know that in order for me to grow my asset, I gotta grow me. I've got to invest in me in order for me to become something bigger with knowledge and wisdom and things that I could offer that even people would be, here it is, willing to pay for. That I had to do this, but I had to get experience. So I lowered what I would do. It didn't matter because I knew my worth, but I knew that what I needed was that experience. I needed to get into it, not just read about it. I needed to step into it, not just sit in a conference and hear about it. I needed a hands-on trial and error experience. I needed to take me through a beta testing. Come on. Beta over here, beta over here, beta over there, in order for me to become something. In order for me now to become that A prototype. Come on, class A prototype. At the head and not down at the bottom. Every situation that I could step into, be around who I wanted to be, or to learn what I needed to get from them, even if I didn't want to be a financial advisor, I needed to, man, get in there to learn everything that I could about one so that I would know how to educate people on finances. And investors, I needed to know how to educate people on investing. When it came to insurance coverages, man, everything. I became a sponge and a server, and I sure did give myself for free. I opened myself up because when I did that, what happened? Everything came pouring in. And as I started to learn, I became, and here's that word again, an entity. Not a business, I'm an entity, a plethora of knowledge, and not just limited on knowledge to one thing. I wanted multiple knowledges because I wanted multiple ways of helping people. I wanted multiple ways of being an asset, and I wanted multiple ways of being able to turn every single one of those into income. Remember my why. Remember my why. Okay, next, here's the big one. And we're going to have to go hard on this one. You can start a business, but if you do not learn how to acquire new clients, it doesn't matter. You're going to put a lot of money into you. You're going to put a lot of time and investing in you and learning and all of that. But when you're now starting to do you, you're starting to do something that if you don't know how to acquire clients or acquire people, that could be acquire partners that want to come and partner with you, acquire sponsors that now want to give you money to help you get where you're going to be, or to acquire clients, which means now you've got people that are hiring you, that are saying, hey, I want you to do this for me, that I'm going to pay you. And for a lot of people, we don't know how to prospect. We don't know how to talk to people anymore. We're so busy using this sucker to do the talking, but I'm going to sit here and tell you, this is not how we win true clients. This is not how we keep true clients, because other people use this. And they can steal your clients or get them before you get them. It is truly how to talk to people, connect, to build relationships, to serve people, and how when you're in a prospecting conversation that you now can convert that to now talking about business, and then how you now can present what you do and how you now can win them to want to now be a client with you. So we can go structure everything we want to. We can go put all these documents together. But if you do not know how to build, if you do not know how to acquire, and even when it comes to people in a network, to build a network, you can't build anything. You can't even get a job, how to acquire a job, how to get something, how to make it yours. This is the thing that I studied. I put myself through every training. I even got certifications here. I was the one that went beast mode. I started in boot camp with my mentor in a closed room with the telephone and a telephone book. You want to make money? You dial for people. You dial for relationships. You dial for connections. You dial for dollars. Man, talk about me. I have no problem with the phone. I hate this thing. I want to talk to you. I want to connect with you because I know that is the only way to truly win people that are going to be here. What did I say? As a foundation to my business, not something I can acquire once. I want to acquire forever. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we need systems and software that are going to allow us to do business more effectively, more simplicity, and communicate and retain. But to get it, to acquire it, woo, and even, yes, to keep it requires the ability to know how to win people. And as John C. Maxwell says, how to have influence, how to keep influencing, how to keep people, even retention. My next one, that we talked about, and that I'm going to tell you was a big deal of me going within 12 months to making six figures. And literally within 2 to 2.5 years, I made my first millions, is I became an extremist in helping others get what they needed. Any way that I could help people get what they needed, I was going to do it. You'd be amazed when you serve people and help people get to where they want. You've heard the saying. All of a sudden, I built up so many relationships and so many people now that were helping me get what I wanted. I was getting referrals left and right. Even people that I acquired, I didn't just sell them this. I really truly dove into what they needed, what they were about. And even when it came to other things that had nothing to do with me, I wasn't just about myself. I made it a point to help them to get there. And sometimes it's just about putting them in front of somebody else that could help them, putting them in front of the tool that could help them, introducing something that could help them, or even giving them something to read or that one video that just encourages them. I made it a point with every person that I acquired. I took on a personal invested role of investing in them, not just in me. I invested in them personally. I invested in them in their life. I became invested in wanting to know and wanting to be about the things that were important to them. I invested in every single client that I got. That not only was I now in a relationship business-wise, this took now me to a whole nother level. It is called people that will stay with you ongoing, to where you'll never have to worry where that next client is coming from. You'll never have to worry what's going to happen to you 6 months or 12 months down the road. Because when you do that, watch the power now. You've been investing in you, and now you go care about the people you have as clients, and you invest in their life as a whole, which is why the first thing I said is learning everything about life, knowing about those things, because what is the foundation of their whole life? Them. So if I invest in them and I become an extremist at helping them and serving them, I get a return of investment on that. And it's not about dollars. It is about friendships. It is about opportunities. It is about creating a client base, a portfolio. It is about having truly loving what you do with people you love to do. It's about a fulfillment, something that goes far greater than that when you realize that you help people in other obstacles, not just what you get paid for. What that does for you, it also does a return of investment in you. It is a double ROI by you now not just being about yourself, being about other people, and extremely, in all facets, in all areas, caring about other people and their need. And then our last ones, we've got just two. And again, as long as it lets it slide over, and I think it's that lotion because we're getting it better now. With all of that, I realized now I need to build a network within a network. That now I was building this network, but now what I needed to do is to build one within it. That means I needed to look at other people that were hiring me as as the person that was going to help them. And then, yes, I was going to serve them, but I realized that we could serve each other. that in this network of people, I took my assets, looked at what they were trying to do, and said, hey, let's plug in together. Hey, let's do this together. Hey, let's share in this together. Hey, let's take your strengths and mine and click it together. We got a transformer. We got an Optimus Prime. That now I took this network of people and I made us all a network, connecting them to each other. Can you imagine now all these people working together, helping each other get there? Them having opportunities that you can't get, but bringing them to the table, and you guys now connecting together. My Lord, did that go? That's when the millions started to happen. That's when I started to make real big money, and real money that changed my life, that allowed me to give a whole nother life, to my daughter that I never thought possible. And I hope you heard how I did that, serving them now, and then now getting us to serve each other, a network within a network, which gave opportunities that I honestly was not even working on, that would just come my way. And then we became like this community of literally working together. And then before you know it, we became partners. Come on. Woo, this is literally how I did it, you guys. Okay, so there's that one. And my last one, now that I was doing this, I had to become responsible with everything. I had to really understand and learn about money, how to take care of it, protect it, how to grow it, how to invest it. I literally had to dive in. I'll never forget this. And my dad was the one who now saw all this money that I was making, but he knew I had no financial true education, financial literacy, but he knew I loved movies. And this is way back in the day. Gladiator with Russell Crowe was coming out, and it was the thing everybody was waiting for the whole entire year. And now it was here, came out, I think, in May. And my dad said, hey, I want to take you to the movies, baby. I'm going to buy. Daddy's going to buy. I said, oh my God, how exciting. I'm going to Gladiator with my daddy. And so we met at this big, huge new movie theater. And we walked in. He gave me a hug. I gave him a hug. I was all excited. First time I've gone to movies with my dad. And we're going to see Gladiator. Oh my gosh. And we turned the corner. And right before you walk in, there's these tables of American Express financial advisor, which is back in the day. They're now Ameriprise. And he pushed me, "Gum, sign in." All of a sudden, we went to daughter and daddy to go. Get your name on that list. Yeah, you spending all this money. Like, it went to a lecture. We go sit down. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then there's this presentation. They're passing out a clipboard. He passes the clipboard. He doesn't take it. He hands it to me. I need a pen. And he hands me a pen. He goes, fill it out. And I filled it out. And there we watched Gladiator. When we were done, I was now connected to the entity that was truly going to teach me. And it was a hard journey. I made a lot of money. Okay, but really learning what to do with that money, really learning how money is precious. Money is viable, and it can change the lives of not just you, but many, and learning how to do that, and investments. And again, it was truly something that I feel like every single one of us, I don't care if we only have $100 left a month, $50. It's the one thing that's not being educated, or people blow off. And I believe it's the one thing that is a superhero that saves the day. Because boy, it talks about debt and getting out of debt, and why you got to stay out of the debt, your credit score, all of that, what you can do to help you build a future, with what little you have, and how when you learn how that is, you learn about what works and what doesn't work. And I mean, it just really took me into a whole nother world, that it was the thing that took me from just starting a business to now becoming a true business. It was that moment my dad put me in front of Ameriprise financial advisors, and I hired a financial team to help me. That's when things became really real, and I realized that this is not just a need, this is a true business and what it could do. And I don't even know the year that Gladiator was out, but here I am 32 years later, and I'm going to say this as I close. I didn't go to a university. I don't have a degree. Everybody thinks you got to have that degree. Okay, I feel you. And what a degree can do for you can open up other doors for you. I had what's called hard knock street school. I had single mama school. I had adversity school. Those were my universities, and I had it. You want it, go get it, and nothing is your limited. That's what taught me, and I just dove and learned constantly. Went to everything I could. I got so many certifications now of education, but that's not where I was. All I did was graduate from high school, and that was it. And now I've had what I call is such an honor to not only make the income that I've had, but to be in a position now that I can truly just be about helping other people get there. Because I do not believe this is just a ourselves world. I believe that's one of the issues we have. And I won't be a part of that. I'm going to be a part of helping as many people as I can to be able to build the life that they want, whatever that looks like, and to know that they can, no matter what their circumstances, no matter what their situations, no matter what they can't do, they still can do. That's what this is about. And so, with that, you guys, as always, I want to kind of point out a couple things to you here. Um, this is where I want to offer this every single week, and I love it that you guys are taking advantage of this. This is where we're going to offer a free opportunity to get on a call with you, me or any of my team and partners, to talk to you about what you're trying to do in life. What are those obstacles? What do you need? And to really talk about how we can get there, what you need to do. And maybe sometimes it's only one phone call you needed. Man, rock on. Maybe it's just about connecting you to the people you need to get with. Rock on. Or maybe it means that we are suiting up to be a superhero in that moment to help you become a superhero of your life. I want to offer this every single week, absolutely free. This is where you got to do is to text 737-206-7879 and just put boss. And boss doesn't mean I want to start a business. It may mean that I now want to be the boss of my life versus feeling like I'm an employee of my own life. That's what that means to me. So 737-206-7879 and just put boss in that. Okay, and this is where now you'll have a response from our team, and we'll send you a link to get you to pick out a time and a date that works for you, and we get you registered for that free session. And as always, you guys, I'm going to always do this one. This is the hero of the week. This is the book that I want everybody to get. It's called GoPro. This is not just about how to build a business. This is about, to me, putting back one of the main things we got to put back in our economy, in our society, if we truly want to have a future years down, or we want that next generation, is how do you connect with people, talk with people, build relationships, which builds opportunities. Now, it can't just be about building an opportunity, but these are the steps that I'm going to tell you that I put in every single team that hires me to come into their company to work with their team, and every single person I work with in business, because as I said, how to acquire, how to grow, how to create assets to your company. That means, or even to grow in a relationship and get promoted in business. This book teaches you the fundamentals of how to do that. It's GoPro by Eric Worre, Worre. This is the cover, and it's 7 steps to becoming a network marketing professional. Remember what I said, I built a network within a network. That's what I did. And the company that I launched was, guess what? About helping people get to the life that they wanted. And by me doing that, I was able to build a life for me and my daughter, build a future for my daughter. And now, because of everything that I did, I was able to show her how she could also build a life for her and her daughter as well. This is what it is about, you guys. I truly hope that this has blessed you. I truly hope this is giving you something. Again, please take advantage of that offer. Don't feel like, well, I'm sure there's a hook. There's no hook. It is a free session, and it's up to you what you want to do. But I do know that's the first step. You've got to be willing to say, hey, I need help. You got to be willing to say, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing. You got to be willing to say that versus staying over here, maybe in pride or in doubt. I had to be willing to say, I know I can't get it done, or I'm not getting it done, but I'm going to get it done. What do I need to do? And that was the thing that I needed to say. So with that, you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Make sure you join me, you guys, on Thursday night for Unleashed. as it is my podcast where we huddle together to go, man, and really talk about those topics nobody wants to talk about, or man, we talking about it, but we need to talk about it together. And that is at 7:30 Central Standard, 8:30 on the East Coast, 5:30 on the Pacific Coast, you guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.